Hello， 可爱的你，谢谢你下载我的雅思口语视频。我的这个视频一共分3个部分，就是针对雅思口语考试 Speaking Part1、2 and 3，每个部分列出了10道题，所以一共是30道大题。然后我会给出我自己的回答，你们在看完以后呢，也可以给出你的回答。那我们下面就开始吧。Now let's begin. What do you study? I have a double major of Foreign Affairs and English Literature.Where do you study that? I'm currently enrolled at Beijing Foreign Studies University. Why did you choose that subject? I developed an interest in international relations when I was in high school, so initially I've decided to major in foreign affairs, hoping that when I graduate, I can work for the Chinese government as a public servant. Is it a popular subject in your country? I wouldn't say it's a popular subject in China because the number of students who are interested in international relations is way less than, say, marketing or finance or computer science. This is simply because the expected salary after graduation is not among the highest for my major. Do you like that subject? Yes, I do. I loved reading history books when I was little, and when I was growing up, I spent a lot of time watching international news and political debates. I was fascinated by how countries interact with each other, influencing their soft and hard powers. What are the main aspects of your subject? For my major of foreign affairs, we have 3 main fields of study, including politics, economics, and public administration. For my second major of English literature, we have intensive and extensive reading, simultaneous interpretation, and advanced academic writing. What is your job? I am a human rights officer at the UN in Geneva. Where do you work? Well, before the spread of COVID-19, I was mainly working in my office in Geneva while traveling to the UK and China to attend meetings. At the moment, because of the virus, I'm working from home in France. Why did you choose that job? I love working in an international organization and participating in international political debate. I'm particularly skilled at researching and multilateral diplomacy. I really enjoy working as a facilitator who can provide positive energy for countries all over the world to settle on a common ground while promoting world peace and development. Do you get on well with your colleagues? To do well in my job, teamwork is vitally important, so I tried my best to get on well with all of my colleagues who come from different countries. I respected our cultural differences and different working methods so that we can all work together as a productive team. What responsibilities do you have at work? My main responsibilities include researching and writing human rights progress reports for our member countries, and then every 2 to 3 months we host a universal periodic review at our Geneva headquarters where I serve as one of the main assistants who can provide meeting documents and coordinating all kinds of details. Where's your hometown? I was born in Wuhan and grew up in the Wuchang district till I was like 18. What is your hometown like? Wuhan is a big industrial city in the middle of China. It's famous for its burning temperature in the summer and tasty breakfast all over the city. Do you often visit your hometown? Not very often actually. I went to study in Beijing for my bachelor degree and then I've been living overseas for the past 10 years or so. So I only go back to visit my parents in Wuhan every year or every other year when I have some vacation time. What is there for a foreigner to do or see in your hometown? For anyone who comes to Wuhan, they have to try our breakfast and evening snack at our famous eatery places like Hubuxiang, where they serve a variety of delicious dishes like hot dry noodles and bean curd rice. You can also find skewered barbecue meat and vegetables, which make my mouth watering just talking about them. Has your hometown changed much since you were a child? Yeah, it has changed tremendously with new roads and buildings being added at exponential speed. We also have new light rails running and new subways being built, which were non-existent when I was a child. Do you think your hometown is a good place to bring up children? It's not a bad place to bring up children because of the vibrant culture and the tasty food, and especially that I have close family and friends there, but I wouldn't personally raise up my children there. For one, I would prefer to stay overseas for better education resources for my children, and two, the climate in Wuhan is not the most comfortable to live in. The summer there is way too hot and the winter there is way too cold with no central heating. Did you enjoy your childhood? I sure did. I had a happy childhood when my parents were still deeply in love back then, and they did everything they can to participate in my life and did all things I enjoy, such as going to the parks and making drawings together and singing together as a family. What is your first memory of your childhood? One of my first memories was this little red keyboard my uncle bought for me at the age of 3 or 4. I was overjoyed and I spent a lot of time playing with it while singing my favorite songs. Did you have a lot of friends when you were a child? I don't have a lot of friends back then, but I did have 4 or 5 good ones. From my apartment building, we usually get together after school to play together in the parking lot, games like hide and seek. I had some of my best times with them. What kind of clothes do you usually wear? When I go to work, I need to wear semi-formal suits, but at home I prefer to wear shirt and jeans or hoodies, which I'm more comfortable with. Do you ever wear traditional clothes of your country? I almost never did before I moved out of China, but now I usually wear traditional qipao to important meetings to show off our lovely culture to my colleagues. I also wear traditional tea clothes for important festivals like Chinese New Year and Mid-Autumn Festival so that I feel closer to my home in China. Where do you usually buy your clothes? My favorite brands are Mango and Zara. They have fashionable work clothes and homeware for me, and the pricing is reasonable within what I earn. Have you ever worn a uniform? I did every Monday back in middle school when we have to sing national anthem while watching the Chinese flag rising to the sky in the playground. I actually quite enjoy those moments when I can see everybody wearing the same thing and feeling proud of being part of a larger group. Do you often use a computer? I do every day for my work and for leisure. Do you prefer desktops or laptops? At the moment, I prefer desktops because I need double screen in order to do research and write reports at the same time. What do you use your computer for? I spent most of my working hours on the computer. I also use the computer to watch videos and movies and chat with my friends and family. I can't live without one, to tell you the truth. Do you think it's important to learn how to use a computer? We're living in an information age when using a computer or cell phone is vitally important to do simplest things like buying stuff online. So I think it's very important to learn at least the basics. Do you spend much time with your family? I have 2 kids aging 3 and 5, so I spend a lot of time taking care of them and playing with them. And now that because of the virus, both me and my husband work from home, so we are forced to spend a lot of time together every day. Who are you closest to in your family? My husband and I have been together for 13 years and been married for 7, so now he's the closest person to me. We share a lot of thoughts together every day, especially on child rearing. Who's your best friend? At the moment, my best friend is a Chinese mom by the name of Cici. She lives only 5 minutes drive away from me and we share a lot in common. We both come from Wuhan and we both have 2 mixed kids and are married to French husbands. We celebrate all of the important Chinese festivals together and we usually cook together and eat Chinese meals. Is family important in your country? Family is the most important thing in Chinese culture. Most parents in China do all they can to provide for their children and get them the best education resources. Children, in return, when they grow up, they're expected to take care of their parents in their old age. So we usually have very close family ties in China. What's your favorite food? Without a doubt, Chinese cuisine. Now that I'm living outside China, Chinese food is still the best to me. Have you always liked the same food? Yes and no. Yes, because I've always enjoyed the same type of dishes since childhood for Chinese cuisine, such as pork ribs and spicy beef noodles. But no, because in the past several years, I started to develop a preference for Western pasta dishes. Like I quite enjoy French or Italian style food. Is there any food you dislike? I'm generally very easy with food and I'm open to try all kinds of cuisine from different countries. But after living in the UK for a few years, I have to say that I dislike some of the traditional British cuisine, such as the Christmas black pudding, which was the worst thing I ever digested in my whole life. What is a common meal in your country? People in south of China usually enjoy a meal with rice and different dishes, whereas people in the northern part include more Chinese buns and noodles in their everyday meals. Do you have a healthy diet? I do most of the time. I enjoy a balanced diet and I eat a lot of fruits and vegetables and meat and dairy and beans, and I cook healthy meals every day for my family. But during holidays and special occasions, I do indulge myself with fatty food like chips and cakes, high on calories. Do you have a hobby? I have quite a few different hobbies, such as painting and singing to my keyboard and guitar, hiking in the woods and swimming. What hobbies are popular in your country? China is well known for table tennis. You can see tables everywhere in parks and residential play areas where people of all ages have a go at playing ping pong. Do you like sports? I do. I was quite athletic when I was growing up. I was good at swimming and playing tennis. But now that I'm really occupied with work and taking care of 2 children, I try my best to do some yoga and go running once in a while because I think keeping fit is very important. Do you often read? I do every day for my work and for leisure. I need to read a lot of governmental reports and international news for my work, and over the weekend and in the evenings I also read some entertainment books. What is your favorite kind of book to read? I enjoy reading books in the areas of sociology, psychology, and economics. My favorite author is Malcolm Gladwell, who wrote The Tipping Point, Blink, and Outliers. Topics that deal with the unexpected implications of research. Do you often read newspapers? I don't usually read newspapers. I usually just surf online for international news and watch videos. Do you think it's important to encourage children to read? I think it's essential for children to learn to enjoy reading from a young age so that they can develop critical thinking. Reading not only helps them develop extensive knowledge, but also help them look at the world and form their own way of thinking.